What's going on, blurs, nerds, and everybody in between? It's your boy Wyatt, the sensei of the syndicate, and we are here with another episode of With the BS. So today we are talking about a fun subject that I think brings back a lot of childhood memories for a lot of people, and maybe even some trauma, just because board games can get that serious sometimes. So today we are talking with KB. We're gonna talk about what's our favorite board games, how we felt about certain ones, house rules, because KB thinks that house rules should apply for everything. I personally believe, you know what I'm saying? You got to follow the rules of the game, but we're going to get into that. But before I do that, I just wanted to go ahead and introduce the people with us. KB, how you doing today?
I'm good, man. I've got no complaints. This has been a fantastic week so far, and I'm very happy.
That's awesome. So what is your favorite board game? Just starting off.
My favorite board game is probably actually chess. I love that game.
Okay. I've been trying to get Ben into it. And he understands the pieces, but the strategy is not really there yet. But you know what I'm saying? He'd be like, so I get to take all these pieces in. I'd be like, no. What's your feeling about letting kids win? Do you believe in that, or do you believe in just teaching them the tough rules?
I think there's lines and levels to it. Like, there's not a cut and dry answer. Just because I think it's important to build confidence in your kids, but I also think it's important to teach them not just how to win, but how to lose. Because you do have kids who will lose and never play again because it hurts so bad, and then you have kids that you let them win at everything and they don't know what to do when they're hit with adversity. So I think there's a medium that you have to kind of be careful with.
Yeah, I agree completely. When they're first learning, you know what I mean? It's all right to give them a little bit of like, hey, good job. You know what I mean? But then as they start getting a little bit more competitive, my part was when Ben started talking smack, that's when I was like, all right, now you ready? Now I can take the gloves off a little bit.
Right. But I think that's also teach them how to win. Like, don't be a douche nugget.
Yeah. That's a really big thing. So besides that, because there's a lot of different ones that you can be able to do. Yes, Tots said what's up. First of all, he said, hey, you guys. And then he said you got to learn through the loss. So that's definitely appropriate as well. In the comments below, you guys tell us what your favorite board games are as well. How do you feel? Because we had this conversation starting off. Uno.
So I like Uno, but me and Uno have some beef right now. I very stupidly decided with someone, and this has been a while ago now, because you know me pretty well. I'm not one to really shoot my shot. But in this particular case, it was a person that I was crushing bad on, and everyone knew but them. So it was their birthday. We had done a party for them. Thanksgiving was also coming, so it was just like a big thing that we decided to do because they didn't have any plans, and nobody in their family was really rocking with them. So I was like, nah, we're gonna have a good time. You're gonna enjoy your birthday. At least with me in your life, you're gonna enjoy your day. So played some games, had a good time, and then we did Uno, and the rule was for every hand that you lost, shot. So not round, like play a game and lose, but every hand that you lost on. Right. So it was a pretty bad night. It was fun though. Had a good time. And because everyone knew that I was crushing on them, I had to get ahead of it because I was like, nah, I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you, because what I'm not about to do is sit here with everybody watching me out the corner of their eye all night. We're not doing that.
So you were just like, you're not going to be the person where everybody's like, oh, look at it.
Exactly. What we're not doing is that. So not only did this person beat me like I owed them money, but then I had to tell them the truth on top of that. Now, we played sober the next day, and I won. beat their ass. And then turned around and played with some other people, and I've won primarily since that incident. But that night took probably the worst L that I've ever taken in a game that wasn't like a video game, if ever. And I was so angry because why would fate set me up like that? So yeah, I got beef with Uno because I feel like I was set up.
Man, so the Uno gods were not with you that night. And so
left me hanging.
So, and finally, we got the other member of the BS here with us, another member, Captain Obvious. Steven, what's going on, bro?
What's happening, man? I'm late because, the family life never stopped.
I understand. So,
yes, I'm blaming y'all. What do you mean? Yes, y'all are
late. Well, see, what's your favorite board game?
Okay, so it really depends on the stage of my life, in which case I'm a terrible person to play board games with because I'm really competitive, but I'm also really good at them. So Monopoly, then exactly, Tides, exactly. So you got Monopoly, but like I've already kind of figured out the hack to that a little bit. So it's lightweight boring, all right? I'm going to throw a curveball at you, but Bid Whiz is one of my favorite because if you don't consider card games board games, I think you're being unfair. A. B, if you want to go to board games, I just played this fantastic board game called Fun Employed. Okay, have you guys ever heard of Fun Employed?
No.
Not as a game.
My new favorite board game. All right, we just got, we're on a family trip, and it's you get a job card laid on the table. You get some attribute cards of different types of, attributes. Some of them are inappropriate, honestly. But you get different attributes, and then you have to try to pick attributes that you believe would fit that particular job. And it's kind of like apples to apples. Have you ever played apples to apples? Okay, no. It's like apples to apples, but with a job, and you're trying to convince the person to give you the job based on having these particular attributes. It's pretty fun, and as somebody who likes to talk, of course, that's gonna be,
that's your jam.
Exactly. It's ridiculous. It's fun. So Fun Employed is my vote.
How do you? Oh, so we are talking about Uno too. So, what are the rules for you when it comes to Uno?
All right, so I don't play Uno very often. Now,
when does sound awesome. Tots said he had.
Say it again.
No, Tots was saying that.
It's so amazing. It is so amazing.
Tots is a really, really big. So, if you've ever seen any of the Haven comic quiz shows that they used to have going on, Tots has, like, how I have posters in my background. He has board games like that. So Tots is he's that dude when it comes to board games.
Interesting. Now I want to play a board game with him.
We may have to make that happen. So, you were saying about Uno. I'm sorry, sir.
I saw it. Oh, sorry, hold on. I got distracted by something. I never played Uno very often. I never played very often. Like when I used to play, I played one time with somebody who had so many house rules that you could string the cards together in some wacky combination and Uno out on the first hand, which kind of ruined it for me. And so I was just like, I'm kind of good on the Uno. Now I do like Phase 10.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, that one is fun.
He said, "Let's make it happen, Captain." That's what Todd said.
I want to clarify something. I didn't say house rules in all things. But I do honor house rules in a lot of different things, just because, if it's your house and you pay for the game, within reason. Because, that thing about Unoing out in the first hand, what we not doing is that, and they probably did some weird stacking combination, because me and my friends were just arguing this right before the show. For my birthday last year, they came to visit while I was sick, and we went to my brother's house and they played Uno. I didn't play because one of my best friends had never played before. So I was helping him learn how to play, and everyone wanted to stack. And I'm like, no, because he doesn't know how to play. So y'all can't sit here and do all your house rules on top of trying to teach someone the regular rules to the game. We're not doing that. But once everyone is established in how to play by the base rules, then as long as your house rules aren't going to exactly table rules are one thing, house rules are another. So as long as your stuff isn't going completely insane, run it. Like we can stack because it makes the game go by a little bit faster. Otherwise, Uno can last for a long time depending on how many people you have. And I'm not one to sit all day and play a game, which is also why I will never play Monopoly ever again.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all good about making certain tweaks to make the game fun, but yeah, the house rules sometimes make it where like they have like an unfair advantage or things like that. Yeah, because I when it comes to say for instance even like house rules where they're stacking and then you can be able like if you have a card and you can play there was something where I went to somebody's house where you can play out a turn to be able to do something else if you have the same I was like bruh, I just give me regular Uno. I don't want all that.
Yeah, see that I'm not with. We're not doing that. But like if I got 3 2s, then I'm gonna play all 3 2s if it's a 2. And whichever color I end on that, I'm fine with that. Like if I play a draw 4, and you have a draw 4, you could play that 4 on top and now Cap has to draw 8. Like I'm cool with that.
Now what about if you have a draw 4, I have a draw 4, and then Cap has a draw 2?
No, because draw 4s match.
Okay.
All right.
So I'm with keeping things even and level.
Check this out. Draw 4s usually come with the caveat of being a wild card, which means that you get to call the next color. If you say draw 4, the color is green, and I have a green draw 2 in my hand, I should be able to pass it along because the card that's in my hand matches the current card in play. You lay the draw 4 on top of an eligible, you're able to make an eligible play is what I'm saying.
Except that the draw 4 supersedes that. Like you can't skip the draw 4.
Say draw 4, the color is green.
Right.
And I have
that means that to draw 4. You cannot skip the draw unless you have a draw to match. The 2 doesn't match the draw 4.
All right. See, that's where you lose me because it doesn't make sense.
Exactly. If you got a draw, the turn's over.
So the draw 4 avoids the contract of adding addition.
So say I said, okay, I got to draw 4 and I play it, right? And I say the color is red. You got to draw 4 unless you have a draw 4. If you got to draw 4, because it matches, skip it. But if you do not have a draw 4, you picking.
Yes. But see, the thing is, Tots, we're trying to figure out when is it that you draw. So that's where the conversation comes in, because some people will say, like they're talking about now, where if you have another card where you can make them pick up more actual cards, then they say, okay, well, that can continue to go. Some other people are saying, hey, like the draw 4, you got to have like a draw 4, just like that other person that gave you the draw 4. So you got to have it something like that to be able to continue. So it's crazy, but I want to hear you guys' conversation about it though. Yeah. So, what about spades? Do you guys play first of all?
Yes, and I'm an amazing spades player.
KB,
but
you
spades is also mid compared to bid whist.
I've never played.
Oh man. Oh my gosh. You got to find you some really old black people. Okay.
I've never even heard that game that you're talking about, so I'm gonna do some research on that one.
Let me tell you why you would love it. You play it very similar to spades. The only difference is, number one, trump is called by the dealer, according to, the cards in his or her hand. when the dealer calls trump, they can call different variations on the play of the cards. For example, if they say, trump is diamonds downtown, let's say that they have a hand with ace 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 in it. They could literally take 9 books off the top of your head. All right. Okay. So the table doesn't count as a board, considering that when they make the minimum bet, it is called board. Metaphysical tots.
Plus, like I consider everything that doesn't have to be plugged in, that it's just you, somebody else, the players, and that's it. You know what I mean?
The table is the board.
Yep.
Whatever way you guys are working it out, the table is the board.
Spades is great.
Exactly. You got I'm telling you, it's amazing, because you can take a trash can and you can turn it into gold, because you determine the rules of the cards. If you're the dealer, if you're not the dealer, you just better hope that you got some good cards, which is essentially what spades is. The game of life is what it is. Hope you got good cards and play them right.
I don't mess with spades.
What? My wife. Go ahead.
Here's my thing. Before anybody tries to take my card, I know how to play spades. All right? I know the rules. I know how to play. I understand the house rules. I got it. But what you're not about to do is get me at this table in an attempt to take my money. The answer is no, because I don't lose money. All right? I don't gamble.
I do. I don't think I've ever played spades for money, and I'm not even trying to be funny. So who are you talking to that's making you pay to play spades?
So
unless it's a tournament.
Yeah, but I've never.
So I'm not naming names.
It's because snitches get stitches.
Snitches do get
bro, and I am terrified. There ain't a whole lot of people that I'm scared of, but it's a handful that you're not gonna catch me running up on at no point in time in my life. And those are the people that play spades. So,
because I think she's afraid of parents, perhaps.
I said no names. All I know is ain't nobody taking my money. So I stay away from the spades table.
But that might be why some people don't like it, because my wife doesn't like to play spades. She's like, people get too passionate about it.
Yes, that's the other thing. Y'all get too loud, and the way my temper is set up, who are you talking to?
Yeah.
It's a card game. You better pipe down. So leave me out it.
Yeah. So, I mean, I do like playing with trash talkers, but like not the crazy ones,
I don't like talking. Like, to me, it's still a game. So like I'm there for the conversation while we play the game.
Right.
But yeah, I'm not. Yeah, the ones where they just start calling out your name and stuff like that, or they get a little bit too personal.
Honestly, if you slap a card down, I don't want to play with you anymore.
And see, a lot of people slap the cards down, and again, like,
I don't like that. I mean, little playful banter about the game. When you play, I like to play poker. I'm gonna tell you at some point, hey, I'm taking all your money.
Cards.
Like.
I don't know those games, Tots. I don't know either one of those games.
Yeah.
Oh, Tunk. Tunk is different than hearts and spades. Tunk is what he's saying.
Oh, I know Tunk. Tunk I thought he said took, and I was like, I've never heard of that.
That sounds like a game I just don't want to be a part of.
It's also a game.
I've heard of Rook. I don't know the rules.
And I don't know the rules very well to Hearts. I used to play it on the computer sometimes.
Hearts is, I like playing Hearts on that.
So it is therefore not a board game. Mr. Getting serious about the board game, Tots.
So what is, how do you guys, about, I want to talk about Monopoly too, because that's one of those where you play a lot of it. That is like Oregon Trail of board games where it just doesn't end. Do y'all play where, like, there's some people that play where, like, you have to land on go, or do you have to pass go to get your $200?
All right. I played with somebody who, when you landed on go, no, it's a card that you get where you would get $400. Okay, the card that says, take this card, advance to wherever.
Mm-hmm.
If you pass go, collect. No, go to take this card to go collect $200 or something like that. You have to go to Go. The card that goes to Go, I played with a few people who you get $400 in that transaction because the card tells you to collect $200, right?
Mm-hmm.
The board also tells you exactly. That's what exact. Tots gets it. Tots knows exactly what I'm talking about. You land up because the contract on the card tells you get paid, and then it says on the board, collect 200 as you pass. You get paid again, but only with the card. Now, I've never heard of Landon being double money, but I would support that only because the game is to stack doubles. So, of course, I'm not going to argue against that house rule. That's not a bad one. Now, have you guys played where you put the taxes underneath free parking?
Yeah.
Tax goes underneath the free parking. You know why? Because at some point, somebody's got to get the taxes. Why are we putting it back in the bank? What up, bro?
What's that?
So we were talking about Monopoly, and Sir just jumped in. Sir is an avid Monopoly player.
Man, we got to finish our game we started or start over.
Which game?
Sir and I started a game during the pandemic. Didn't you play Monopoly, sir?
He said he'd be right back.
Oh.
Yeah, so Tots is a really, like, when I tell you, you know how people have, how people had like encyclopedias and it was just like all over the place. Tots has the board game galore. Like if power ever went out at Tots' house, they still got shit to do. Like
they won't be bored.
they're exactly right. So yeah, tax-free parking totally makes the game go forever long. I agree, but it's so great when you hit it, and then after that, it's like an automatic come up.
Yes.
Stimulus check.
It is exactly what it is. Like I think now I commit to just, hey, at some point we got to stop playing. Whoever has the most money at the end of the game wins. That's how I normally play. The thing is, folks think that you got to go bankrupt. I have over 200 games. Wow. Whew.
Yo, Tots, I have a game that I want to buy, but it's too expensive. But it's called Kingdom Death Monster. Are you familiar with that game? Let me know in the chat if you've heard of it.
Huh.
Yeah,
well,
it's because the person who makes the game hand makes all the pieces.
That is
Yeah.
That's scary.
So you order the game and you just get it when you get it.
Well, I mean, I understand. I mean, it's not fun, but hey, it is what it is. What about? So, Jeremy, what is your favorite, sir? What's your favorite board game?
I really, as much as I enjoy the manipulative side of me when I play Monopoly, Trouble hit different. Trouble has always been like a classic fan favorite for me. Simply because you could send niggas back. Like you could just tell them to start over, and that really strikes a special chord in my heart. So, yeah. Me either, bro. I don't think we're rich enough. We got to get our money up, Tots.
How much is it for that game?
4 to 5.
1,000, huh?
No, 100. 4 to
Okay.
500.
Okay, I was gonna make sure because, like, I was like, is he making it out of bone? What?
But yeah, it's
Well,
cut
yeah.
ivory, and he makes.
I'd be like, yeah, guys, we can't play that game. Yes.
Right.
But I would probably never play it, so don't invite me. Because it
Right.
sounds crazy and scary.
Because the instant I lose a piece, I'm losing my shit. Ludo. What's Ludo?
Yeah, explain Ludo. I may have to. Let me see. I'm gonna try to see one thing, but so you know a game that I really didn't like, and it was just because I wasn't coordinated. Operation.
What?
Operation. I was not coordinated, and then like you said, like all you have to do is touch the edge, and then you got to share and all that. I was not for it.
I will say it was anxiety inducing
Mhm.
because there was a lot of pressure to remove that bone from that nigga rib.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I feel you, but you know what I'm saying. You gotta go hard in the paint, my boy. Sometimes you just gotta jump out there.
I love Operation. I hate Monopoly with a passion, but I love Operation. Anxiety was what's Pop Goes Perfection. That's an anxiety inducing game because it's got that bro. If I never see that game again, I would die a happy adult.
See,
Nigga
Todd
used to
said
kick your shit in the air, bruh.
Operation is either you great or you suck at it.
Can I share my anxiety-inducing game?
Sure.
Mousetrap.
I've never played Mousetrap.
You know why you've never played Mousetrap? Because a part of the fun of the game is actually putting the game together. And it's like, wait a minute, man. I thought I ordered a board game, not a puzzle. I mean, I know it's like the first time I saw Mousetrap was as an adult. My wife found it at a thrift store. Okay. And we brought it home, and it's like we had all of the pieces on there, but it just didn't seem to fit together right. It was terrible. Like, I mean, I know how to read, but the game hadn't even started yet, and it's already just a lot. It's a whole lot. Sorry, guys. That's mine.
You know what I don't like though is that game where you have to do stuff like pick boogers or something like that. Those type of things. It's not necessarily one of my.
I don't think I know that one, bro.
There's ones where you got to pick those, or I'll have to look and find it for us so that I can show you. Booger.
Oh, I ain't know nothing about no booger picking.
Game.
Now, one game I always did want to play was Clue. I never got to play Clue like I wanted to.
That sounds like it'd be super fun. I agree.
You know what I'm saying? I just want to accuse a nigga of killing him.
You did.
I did play Clue. Yeah, I like Clue. Clue was good.
Is there an online Clue?
That'd be good.
That would be a lot of fun.
I agree. Family game night. Clue.
I would be down.
We got to do something like that. You know what we have to do again is we have to play D&D. Is D&D considered a board game or just a tabletop game? Which I put everything that's not an electronic game as a board game.
So this is what I was asking you in the chat. I know nothing about D&D other than there is the DM or GM, whichever initials you want to give them, and they tell a story. That's it. That's all I got. But it seems so interesting to me, and I want to play so bad, but people get really, really into it, and I just feel like as someone who doesn't know how to play, again, y'all like to raise y'all's voice and beat your chest a little too hard for me to want to get involved in that game. Because if you talk to me the wrong way, so
I mean, again, I was reading slow. I can kind of agree with that, considering that I played D&D.
But I thought you said the table was the board, so now I'm confused. Because what's the difference?
Ooh.
Your imagination.
No, I'm not being a smart aleck. I really want to know. That sounded so bad.
Your imagination is the board. That's the difference. Your imagination is the board. I'm serious. Your imagination is the board.
But you're playing on the table, right?
No, you're playing in your mind.
Well, you can. It depends. You don't have to have a board.
Exactly.
All you got to have most of the time is usually. I haven't played that much myself, but a lot of times what you got to have is just your sheet for your stats, and then after that, like you can be able to have it where somebody has we've played online here, where you they give you visual cues, but you can just have somebody who's a really good storyteller and have you walk through everything, and you don't need a board at all. You just need some dice, and sometimes you don't even need that.
You only need a dice card.
It's an online roller.
So
I'm not trying to kill you, Tots. I'm genuinely confused here, man. I just want the answers. That's all. I just want to know.
We gotta set up a game so that she can play and then she'll get it.
Hey, sir, I found the game.
Oh, what the fuck?
Gross.
Louis. I'm not
Unnecessary.
with that. That wouldn't have got picked in my house. Mm-mm. My mom wouldn't have that.
Y'all see what the kids look like. That's not for everyone.
That's not for the Blurred Syndicate.
So, no, like, so we want to do. I want to do like a D&D session as well. Like, I got what was it? The Power Rangers tabletop guidelines. So I'm working on reading all that to try to put together a good story for us because I think it'd be great.
I appreciate you, Todd. I appreciate you.
We already got the story. KB's missing, but KB is involved with finding KB in her spirit form. KB's body is missing and her memory is gone.
Ooh.
I remember that. Yeah, let's do that.
She tried to put us up to a story as far as that's concerned, where she was missing.
That was not me. I did not come up with that story.
Steven did that one.
I did.
Yeah. Cap came up with the story because I have different tags for everyone in my phone, and he was like, "Oh yeah, we got to work backwards to find you with the clues."
That'd be dope. By the way, I did find that Clue is available for Google and Apple stores on Nintendo Switch and Steam, and it is up to 6 players.
You know what we could do? We could stream it and then have a good Clue guessing game.
Yep.
Yes. Yes.
So it's okay. I'm sorry, Tots. I knew. Hold on. What did he say? The tabletop sim and other type things.
I have that for Steam.
Mm-hmm.
I like the button that you could flip the table.
What other games do you guys remember from your childhood board game wise?
I don't know if this qualifies, but Battleship.
They have a ton of free games, he says.
Mm-hmm.
Battleship.
We have Battleship at the house now. I'm just laughing because I thought about Ben, my son. He was playing with my dad and he was moving his battleships so that my dad couldn't hit him. So then my dad got mad and was like, you know what, I'm done with this shit. Not really, but in his mind, he did that, and I just chuckle all the time when I think about that.
Honestly, if he had did it in person, it would be okay. It would be okay.
Because kids are jerks. Kids are jerks.
Mm-hmm.
You can do that in Battleship.
Flip a table.
No, I'm saying.
No, you're supposed to keep them still.
Yeah,
So,
your son was cheating.
yeah. So
I've heard of Captain Sonar, but I've never played it myself. There is a finger. I've heard Captain Sonar, but I've never actually played it. I hear it's a lot of fun though.
it's real-time Battleship on crack with more people. That's crazy.
Well, group crack is always the best kind, so yeah.
So, what is your least favorite board game to play?
Monopoly.
Matters.
What about? Do you guys remember Risk?
Oh shit! Yeah, I saw the box. If that's what you mean.
The box.
And Stratego? Is that what?
Played it though.
Stratego.
Yeah.
Stratego.
Never
I
played
don't
that.
know anybody who owns them shits. I'm just gonna be 100 with you.
I like Scrabble. I enjoy Scrabble.
I'll bust your ass in some
You'll
scrap.
you'll get messed up in Scrabble playing with me.
Aggressive. You're a teacher. I'm not playing Scrabble with you anyway.
Say what now?
I said, you're a teacher. I'm not playing Scrabble with you.
Why not?
That's an unfair advantage.
For real.
How?
That nigga first word would be soliloquy.
Exactly.
That's any letters for the way the game is played.
I'm not a fan of Scrabble because I'm not that great at spelling. I appreciate so much now in the age that we are in and technology wise, because autocorrect helps me so much, so much. But yeah, Scrabble's not one of my things. When everybody was on that Words with Friends thing, I was like, I'm good.
Nope.
Every now and then I come out of Words with Friends retirement.
Yeah, I play like 4 games and then be like, uninstall.
Yeah, my little cousin he'll play like once every 2 years. And every time he gets on it, he'll send a mass text to everybody like, come play this game with me. And we're like, for what? You're gonna lose. And he loses every game.
But he got
And
heart,
then he
though.
deletes it and then he comes back to it.
Tots, what is your favorite game? Because you got a lot of them. And then what's your one that you want to play that you haven't played yet? Since I don't think there's too many games left in the world that you haven't played or at least heard of.
While he's doing that, I will tell you one depressing ass game, Life, nigga. I don't know if you ever played that game. That game gets horrible really quick. And what's crazy,
Again?
starts off with getting kids.
Life.
Oh goodness.
Life, you want to get depressed and laugh with your friends? Play Life.
I live life. I don't want to play it.
Yeah, I've never played Life.
It's tough.
I see. I mean, I live it.
Exactly. I'm good.
Imagine the board game called such.
Mm-mm.
It's like, because if it's art imitating life, I get it. Literally.
Tots, what is Mansions of Madness?
Mm.
Like, you got to break it down.
That's the new Doctor Strange movie.
I haven't played Gloomhaven. Also got Wolfenstein on the way.
Ooh,
Both of those sound like metal bands.
Wolfenstein. Is that like the game Wolfenstein? Like shooting Nazis Wolfenstein?
Maybe. Hero Quest remake is also in the queue.
See, it's Lovecraftian. I want it. I like horror.
Y'all got it. I need my sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. I know we did bombard you with like a lot all at one time. Take your time, bro.
This is why you have to come be a guest so that we can ask you these things.
It's my bad. I should have thought further ahead about inviting him on for this one because it's definitely like this is his cup of tea.
So that just means we have to have a part 2.
Straight up.
Touche.
We need to have a part 2 after everybody has played Fun Employed.
Fun Employed?
Have you ever played Apples to Apples?
No.
Oh goodness, man. Apples to Apples is a good one. Go find Apples to Apples at a Dollar Tree and play it. It's fun.
There is another game that's like Apples to Apples that he may have played. It's the one that has all of the little black cards where all of the options are terrible. What's the name of that game?
Cards Against Humanity.
Cards Against Humanity. Yes.
I
We
sent
can play
Tots,
that online too.
I sent Tots the link. See what he says from there. Yeah, that just seeing his room, is you'll see it and you'll be like, huh. What about?
Yo, I'm looking up Apples to Apples, and I kind of like the concept. This is funny.
Break it down for us, man.
So there's a word which is typically a green apple, and your red apples have to correspond to the word. Like I'm looking at the picture, the word is phony, and some of the red apples, which are from other players, are icebergs, alien abductions, salads, bottled water, knock-knock jokes, popcorn, and feathers. And I even see one where the guy's about to play the televangelist card under the phony card. Like it just looks like you're just. I like this. This looks cool. I'm gonna have to buy this. It seems like a PG, not PG, but E-rated Cards Against Humanity.
Cool. You know what I like?
That's exactly what it is.
I think alcohol makes every board game a little bit better.
I agree.
KB kind of shook her head.
Depends on the board game. Some board games there are no fixing. Like, I don't care how much alcohol you give me, I'm still not playing Monopoly. But other things I can hear argument for.
But you get the pass go.
Nah, that one. So my issue with Monopoly is it takes entirely too long. I don't have the attention span. Like I'm literally, I understand how old I am, but I'm like a 3-year-old on a caffeine and sugar intake all the time. You cannot get me to sit still and play something that long and think that I'm about to pay attention and memorize everything that no. Just give me the little car toy and let me like drive it around the board or something. Leave me alone. I don't want to play.
Okay. I see where you're coming from. They have like shorter versions with smaller boards and like debit cards and stuff.
If you play the Monopoly game according to the rules, it wouldn't take as long because one of the rules is if no one buys a property, it goes up for
auction. Yep.
Let me explain something to you. It takes 20 minutes to tell the rules of Monopoly. Any game that takes that long to get through for the rules, I'm not playing.
I don't know, man. I
guess it depends on the people you're playing with, man.
You playing with folks with a lot of crazy house rules?
We got Tots in the building.
Tots!
What's up, everybody?
I'm going to show you. I'm going to embiggen you.
All right.
And then just, yeah.
Holy fuck shit, goddamn.
That was that.
I'd say I don't play, but obviously I do.
That's cool, man. Hey, we finna go play at Tots' house, bro.
Right. Like, let me pack my bag.
Will knows where to find me.
Yeah, I'm down the street from him, so y'all just gotta come here.
Cool.
And then after that,
bro, I'm gonna bring beer and candy, and we're gonna play board games.
That looks like, never mind. It wasn't an insult, I promise. I was just getting ready to tell on myself, and it's fine.
Oh, that's fine.
Now you have to share it. Like, you can't just do that.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it looks like the thing in my closet for all my shoes. I don't have 200 pair of shoes, which is why I stopped. Because people keep calling me a sneakerhead, and I'm not. I just happen to like colors and variety.
You got to have just the right shoe for the right occasion.
Exactly. If the colors don't go, they don't go.
That's just being prepared. There's nothing wrong with that.
It sounds like an enabler. I'm just gonna put that out there.
There's 2 steps between a collector and a hoarder.
Listen,
hey,
I wear all of mine, so
that was the question. As long as you're wearing them, cool. But there's a thin line.
No, I wear every single pair that I own, with the exception of a pair of heels that I no longer wear because I don't have a dress to match.
What color are
I
the
want
heels?
to see your shoe collection.
Say what?
What color are the heels?
They're like a teal color.
Ooh.
Okay.
Fancy.
Right. So I need something to kind of.
You don't have a white dress?
No, because man, I like to eat. No.
This is exactly why I don't have white polos. This is exactly why.
Listen.
Jeremy and I learned that one the hard way. Like we had the cream color stuff.
Yep.
I was like, oh no, I got to get something that has some color, something that, you know what I mean?
Listen, I'm one of those people that will turn down the invitation to an all-white party because don't play with me.
Tie-dye carries just the right camouflage for spilled food.
Exactly.
I personally am a fan of just putting a big napkin on me if I'm wearing all white, so that I don't get food on me and have to worry about that.
I don't like the way it feels. It feels funny.
I'm a napkin tucker guy. Okay, and honestly, at some point, I'm gonna start just bringing my own napkin to tuck because make sure that it's big enough to completely keep my white shirt clean, unspotted. You get what I'm saying? That's how you got to be.
Now that you said that, you have to show up with it tucked as well.
No, I can't show up with it tucked because then I can't show off my bow tie. That would be unfair. Now, what's in your mind is if it matches my bow tie, then we're cooking with fire now.
How about this? Bow tie folds out into the napkin.
Shit.
You just came up with a multi-million-dollar
Almost,
idea.
but there's not enough ever. I was thinking more like the pocket hanky itself, just like, you know, I already got it in my head, Tots. Just wait till you see it. I don't want to tell it on the air.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna be amazing. Just wait till I get done. Y'all gonna be like, by George, he's got it.
You still
That's
waiting on the patent to clear?
I don't even know who George is, but by him.
He's got it.
Every time I hear about George, I think of Curious George. I know it's not right, but that's where my mind goes. That's the George I think of. So
I
you
think
got it.
George Washington.
I
I
always
always think the monkey.
I always think Jorge. Every time I see George, I'm just like Jorge. Yeah.
That's
So I'll run through these real quick. Card game, tabletop game, board game. Right. Card game, play with cards, and there's no boards, no nothing. Tabletop game, it's an RPG, theater of the mind. You might have miniatures and things like that, but there's no board, there's no structure. It's real freeform. Board game, you have a board goes down. It keeps score for you. You move pieces around, shows advancement, has objectives. So like Warhammer, tabletop game, barely. But when you start playing with the mats and stuff, you're knocking on board game territory. Monopoly, straight board game. Uno, straight card game. Cribbage, that one's kind of crazy because you keep score on the board, but it's still a card game. So that's where I draw the line on card game, board game, tabletop game.
When you
So
go
which
to
one is Domino's then?
the table with like things laid out on it, does that change it from being a tech card game to a board game?
I'm sorry, I missed the first part of that. What was that?
Nothing. Go ahead. Katie.
No, I was just curious. So then Domino's, because you keep score and the pieces move. So does that count as tabletop or
Card game.
There's no cards in Domino's?
The domino is the card.
So not literally a card, but
Yeah, so it's a token that has the marking on it, and you use it as a card. So it doesn't have to be a cardboard or cardstock or an actual card. It's still a card.
okay, fair. And then RPG just stands for role playing game because I've always heard those exclusively
Right,
with
like a-
console.
Like TTRPG, tabletop RPG.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yep.
Thank you.
Look at the
So-
Senate learning something tonight. So now
We are. I'm just in the
So then the next one was a Wolfenstein board game. It's a dungeon crawler. Bethesda put it out. They're the ones that currently have the licensing for the Wolfenstein thing. So you're still BJ Blackwitch. You're still trying to escape the Nazi camp. It's got all the people from the video games all the way back to Wolfenstein 3D. So I backed it on Kickstarter the year before last. Still waiting for it to come, but
All right.
it should be any day now. What's up, Katie?
What's a dungeon crawler?
So dungeon crawler, you start in a spot and you progress room to room to room, beating up bad guys until you get to the end or the objective.
So that can also be used to describe a console game.
Yeah, it could be.
A lot of
So
Okay,
you-
cool.
Yeah, so imagine a board game version of a video game where you don't really know what the board looks like because of fog of war and all that, the stuff you can do in a video game where you just have a room and then you go to the next room. Well, a dungeon crawler game, there's a tile, and then when you go to a door, you open the door and then you put the next tile down. And it's either a game master or you look in the book and it tells you what the next tile is going to be, something like that. So you don't know what the board's going to look like until you explore it and get to it.
Okay, cool.
So Mansion of Madness is like that. So Mansions of Madness is like a Lovecraft game. So you're fighting Cthulhu type things. You got your what are they called? The fish people. I can't think of any of their names now because I'm blacking out. Anyway, so that's a dungeon crawler. You go room to room to room to room, and it's you're a group of investigators trying to see something weird. So you might be in the town of Innsmouth. Trying to figure out some weird thing. The cultists are trying to activate some idol, do something or another. You have no idea what's going on. The bad guys fight up, but sometimes you fight them, sometimes you don't, because you're not really warriors, you're investigators. You use clue and you're trying to figure out what's going on and stop it or escape or both. So in those type games like Arkham Horror, Eldritch Horror, Mansions of Madness, there's a brand new one that just is coming out. I can't remember the name of it, but the main way to tell these is you got all the Lovecraftian creatures and you're trying to keep your sanity and your health. So some things attack your sanity, some things attack your health,
That's
but you got to keep
crazy.
up with both of them.
Yo, so I played this game on P. Well, I have it on every system because I fucking love it so much. It's Darkest Dungeon, and it plays with themes like that, where you have your sanity, and once it crosses to a certain threshold, like you get so much damage, you will either develop a heroic trait,
Oh yeah,
or a detrimental trait, and I love that in a game, bro.
especially the detrimental ones, man. As long as you have the right mindset, when you go into those games, you lose. So you try to figure out how gloriously you lose,
Yes,
and then every now and then you win. But it's all about the story. So as
Yep.
long as you realize you're not going in there to try to beat everything, and you just enjoy the experience, you can have tons of fun. So those are always good.
I fuck with Tots. Tots gets it.
Oh yeah.
So, Tots, okay, I want to ask everybody this. What was like the craziest board game / like tabletop? I'm just putting everything as board games. What was your craziest experience when it came to playing with somebody?
Oh, mine's easy. I was playing a game of Arkham Horror, and I had some kind of talisman or something that made me invulnerable. However, we were fighting the elder god that we were fighting, or the elder one that we were fighting was called the Devourer. And the way he kills you is he just devours everything. He devours reality, people, bad things, everything. But I was invulnerable. So the way the game ended, all of us were dead except me, and I was alive, chilling in this dude's stomach, just saying hi to people as he was eating them.
Wow.
Huh.
So I still technically lost, but the way it ended, I was inside of this Devourer's stomach for all eternity alive because I couldn't be killed.
Huh.
It's all about how you lose.
Style points.
Triple S.
Go ahead.
Oh. No, for me, it was because we used to play board games when I was young. I think it was the day that I kept, but my mom kept landing on my property, bro, and I kept taxing her in Monopoly, and she got pissed off and sent me to bed. Like, but that was the night I knew I won, though. Like, I really won, but I had to go to bed.
The moral victory.
Yeah,
How many
because I
times
know that she knew that I knew I won.
You just looked at her.
do you still play? You got to challenge her again, see what will happen.
I don't know
I'm a
if she'll
man
do
now,
that.
Mom. You can't send me to bed. See, I think I kind of want to do that. All these old people putting on me. Oh, yeah, that'd be great.
The crazy experience for me happened recently, where I was playing Monopoly with Ben and Natalie, my girl. So we were all playing, and then Ben, like I kept landing on Ben's stuff, and then Ben just kind of got belligerent, like he was talking like cash money shit. Like he was like, "Where my money at?" And I was like, "Hold up, like." So I didn't send him to bed, but I lost to him. I'm not gonna lie. Like he was definitely better than me on that one night when it came to Monopoly.
That's rough.
But then I beat him up later on that next day. That was dominance.
Like, I don't really have a gaming story like that because, truth be told, I'm really just not a gamer. It's not really my thing. And again, I think it has more to do with the fact that I can't stay still. Now, I will say this. I am someone who loves to watch people play games. Doesn't matter if it's board games, whatever it is, especially if the story is good. You can catch me sitting kind of like I may have my phone or sketching or something, or I'm fidgeting, but I am listening to that story and I am immersed, which is why I kind of like the idea of D&D, because I love the idea of like the story, the world building and things like that. It's just that there seems to be this thing where there's a lot of rules, so I got to sit down and I got to learn the ins and outs of everything.
No.
No?
You
No.
just
Okay.
aim. You literally just play the game.
yeah, you find yourself, and they happen all the time. You go to these cons like the Pop Culture Con. What's the other game one here? We just had Free RPG Day a couple weeks ago, whatever.
Yeah, like a month ago.
And there are tons of dungeon masters or game masters in town, and they have beginner games.
Yep.
And you just tell them up front, "Hey, I'm a straight beginner," and they're like, "Yeah, come on in." And they will. I don't want to say hold your hand, but they will walk you through it. They will spoon feed it to you, give it to you little by little in a way that's easy to pick up. And it seems like a lot of rules, but you only really need to know this much based on what your character is. And really, the rules are just there to help you put some kind of constraints on the way you want to tell the story. Because D&D is all about the story that you are telling, and the group at the table is telling the story together. So the GM sets the stage, and then the party tells the story. And the rules are just there to keep y'all from like flying around and pulling lasers out and shooting each other in the eyeballs and shit like that.
Okay. I'm in NC. I'm gonna find a thing to go to, and I'm gonna let y'all know how it goes.
All right.
So
I'm gonna find one.
So I usually find somebody where we do like a story or a game, and you can play it online. So like last time we did that, it was me, Marcus, Jeremy, the other Jeremy, and then I think it was Steven too. And we played in so they were in Birmingham, so we all just played on Roll20, and we had like a dungeon master, and he kind of walked us through what we could do, what we couldn't do. Like you can be able to kind of call time out, ask him questions about how to be able to do something, or if you can do something, which a lot of times is yes, you can do it. However, there may be consequences to what you want to do. Like, you can go ahead, you can go into a story and just be like, okay, I just want to kill everything. And they'll be like, well, you need this person to be able to understand this, or I wouldn't recommend doing that. And they would do it anyway. And they'd be like, oh, well, you needed that person to open this door. Now you can't go. Now you got to find another way.
Do I have to bring my own dice?
But even the dice, you need a D20. And then depending on which weapon you have, you need like one more. But typically, when you go to a place where a D20 is a 20-sided dice.
Okay, I was like, what the hell is that?
Sorry.
All right, cool.
So, but usually when you go to these things, they call it dice porn because they show up and you never have one set of die. You always have like 30 set of die. And that's just how it is because they all look pretty. They look like candy. Oh, yeah.
I've seen some that I wanted just because of the colors, and I'm like, I would never do anything with this. And also, I fidget with everything, so I'll consider buying some. I have a rock, but I'll consider buying some just because I'm gonna end up like fidgeting with it.
Yeah, so usually somebody's got extra die there, and you can just share with somebody or whatever. But like I said, once you get into a crew, we talked about the toxic folks a couple weeks ago. Every group's got toxic folks, but D&D and those kind of, and I say D&D like Pathfinder, D&D, Blaze in the Dark, all those RPG tabletop games, I kind of lump them together. Even Vampire the Masquerade, they get a little bit crazy for me because I like to dress up and pretend like they're really vampires. But whatever, they're super inclusive and they understand that the hobby will only grow if more people come into the hobby, and that people can't show up every week. So it's only good for the game and good for the hobby if you get more people into it because then you can keep the party going. So they're really into it.
I'm gonna look up a campaign now just because you encouraged me. So I want you to know this is you.
Well, I'm glad I can share that with you because if you get into it and you love it, then that's just one more person that I brought into the hobby, and that's great.
Yeah. It's awesome, man. Like when I think the other Jeremy had actually DM one of ours, and Jeremy and I just went killing wolves and bats and frogs, and it was great. Well, we were in a forest, you know what I mean? So I mean they were attacking us. However, Jeremy decided to put he took trophies,
Which
Cost
Jeremy?
me everything.
Oh. Yeah, because the other Jeremy, he doesn't hunt animals. He hunts orphans and anything he can kill. He's a murder hobo.
You watch your mouth. That's my friend, and I got his back.
No, Jeremy Bernard,
Yes.
Yeah.
Total. He's my friend too.
Okay.
Total murder hobo. In self-proclaimed murder hobo.
Listen.
If it can move, or if it does move and can stop moving, that's what his goal is.
Listen, I agreed with him because he was like, why would we not do this? And I was like, no, that's 100% because you're going to have to deal with them later. So why not deal with them now?
So what you're saying is KB is a hobo in training. Oh,
Listen, I'm a villain. I'll acknowledge this point.
It takes
If it's got a pulse and it's going to be a problem later.
Why procrastinate?
Exactly. I got to do it tomorrow anyway. You might as well go now.
I mean, you're right there. You're right there. You're just going to have to come back. That's extra walking. Nobody's got time for that.
Exactly. I understand I have to get my steps in, but there's another way to do that. I don't have to circle back.
So most of this is high fantasy. Way back in the day, or alternate universe, then we have Fitbits, so there's no steps to get in.
Yep.
I mean, it's just you're gonna have to get extra food to nourish yourself, to walk all the way back to take care of business when you're just right there. Just take care of it.
Right, and I can take the food and put it in my backpack now. So
or you can eat them. That's extra
right.
food.
Listen.
Good protein. So
The fact that they're making sense is hilarious.
Are we wrong?
Am I wrong, dude? Am I wrong?
No.
No, Walter, you're not wrong. You're just an asshole.
And if I get my points up, can you beat me?
See,
Is it
that's
points? Is it points?
when you get levels.
Yeah.
Levels, okay.
Yeah, you get XP and then you level up. So
And see, the really cool thing is, like, if we all play together and we have multiple campaigns, then we go on different things where your person keeps leveling up. So then you can be able to do more. You're stronger. You run into more people.
All right. So I found some little Reddit things with some groups. So I'm gonna find one and I'm gonna join one.
okay.
All right.
I got to remember, but there's some. You're in the Huntsville area, right?
No, I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Oh, that's even bigger area. Let me see what I can find, because usually there's like Reddit. You can find all sorts of trouble on Reddit.
Okay, yeah, keep me out of trouble because I don't want to go to jail.
I'm not saying jail, but just jerks.
No, I'm violent. It would be jail, so keep me out of that. I believe in violence, so keep me safe.
All right, but yeah, there are a lot of local groups, and I can see if I can find one of the local Charlotte groups where you can hook up with GMs, and it's like Facebook groups or whatever, and they're always looking for people to drop in, things like that. So,
Dope, thank you.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
I'm glad.
She's making friends. Look at that.
I am. It's so difficult.
So, other games. I don't know. What else you guys want to talk about?
Okay, question. Hungry Hippo. Does that count as a tabletop or does that count as a board game?
That's a board game.
It counts as totally annoying for my mom. Get that shit out of my living room.
Oh, see,
I fucking love that game.
I love that game, man.
Let all the balls go.
That game is fantastic.
so I know y'all heard of Beyblades, some more recently than others.
Oh my gosh.
Well,
Don't get Wyatt on the Wyatt. Are you okay, bro? Is your shoulder okay?
I had to, rehab it, but I'm okay.
Sweet.
but y'all remember the game way back in the day called Crossfire?
Crossfire.
And it had the two little guns on the end, and you shoot the BBs across, and you try to get the
Yeah.
So that game, also a board game. So that, Beyblades, Hungry Hippos, all those.
Let it rip.
And you gotta say it right.
Why is trauma?
And he used to be like, "No, you got to say it too, Dad, or we got to start all over." Man, let it rip.
What the fuck?
But it was during the pandemic, and so it was just me and him. So
You say
like,
it, old man, or we start the fuck over. Yeah, that's punishment, bro.
Quick question. Is it in the rule books that you have to say let it rip, then? Show me the rule book that says you have
that
to.
may be a house rule that he implied. he
Oh,
put
no.
on me.
Oh, house rules are BS.
Yeah.
That's
God,
not-
I hate that game.
Oh man, so wait, does that mean Fun Employed doesn't count as a board game?
Correct. Fun Employed. Well, technically they're called party games, and I got a couple games like that. So you mentioned Apples to Apples. That was the first one. Then Cards Against Humanity. That was another one. Then there's one called Super Fight, where you're different types of kaiju and things like that, or killer ninjas, and then you have adjective cards and things like that. The Cyanide Happiness folks did one called what's it called? Something Joking Hazard.
Yeah.
And then there's Death by Trolley. That's another one. So basically, those games where you play cards and you try to get people to vote against you or vote for you, whatever. There's a technical party games, but they're party card games. And I guess technically Cranium kind of falls in there too, but that's more a party board game.
So what does Pictionary count as?
Pictionary also a party game, but that's definitely a card game. Or a board game, sorry, board game.
Wait, Pictionary is a board game?
Pictionary is a board game.
How?
Because you're keeping up with your objective on the board. So you move your piece on the board, that keeps your score, and it tells you what category you're picking.
Yeah,
Same with Trivial Pursuit.
Had to do with drawing pictures.
Yep.
I used to like Trivial Pursuit. I didn't know half the answers.
Trivial Pursuit is a card game, right?
Trivial Pursuit's also a board game because the board tells you which clue you're going to read.
See, I've never played Trivial Pursuit other than just looking at the questions and asking them.
You definitely made your own house rules up for that one.
Hey,
You were like,
listen, man, listen. You got to remember, when you're coming from the struggle side, every Trivial Pursuit game you've ever seen has been worked over pretty hard. So all you got is cards with random facts and knowledge on it, okay? So excuse me for never having like a full copy of Trivial or Pictionary. All I found was pencils, pads, and cards. And so I thought the game was.
I feel you there. I probably have 15 to 20 different Trivial Pursuits. And the most fun we have is going on road trips and stuff. I always just grab a box of cards.
Smart.
And we'll roll with it.
That's cool.
Oh, yeah. We have tons of fun road trips. So
there we go.
I have never played Trivial Pursuit.
Me either.
talk about a fight, KB, because you get a hard question and then they turn around and get a super easy question and it gives them a pie, which is a piece of the pie. You got to get 6 different pie pieces to win.
Mm-hmm.
And you get like a crazy hard question and it's not even for a pie, and then they get one and it's the pie question. Oh man, I can't tell you how many times I yell at my family over that game. Like, it has ruined vacations.
There was that every board game you play should be named according to who is the biggest jerk during the board game. Well,
they'd all be called Zach.
What is that? They all be called Zach.
Yeah.
That was good.
Wow, that's awesome. So you're super competitive too, huh? I love it.
Yeah,
you should have. So that explains a lot, because he on the quiz show, like if the guest didn't get the answer right, then like the audience had a chance to get it.
Oh yeah, he sure did.
Tots cleaned up. You know what I mean? But
I got 1 or 2 right.
So it was a couple that. So he was just like, well, this one. They'd be like, Tots got it again. And be like, here's what it is.
So did you win prizes, or were you just like, I'm about to beat y'all because I can?
Why is my still at your house?
Yes.
Fantastic. Don't mail it.
I wasn't. I mean, man, you could come up here anyway, and
that's why I know. It's like a connection.
Yeah.
That was just funny. That was just perfect timing. That's what it was.
So he was like, "You're never getting this back."
Right. No, he was gonna get it.
Come get it.
Yeah. It's hard to find those things to wrap, because it was a scroll, so like you can't just put it in a regular like poster thing.
Yeah.
You need to get you one of them tubes, or make you a tube out of cardboard, like roll it up into a tube.
I wasn't gonna do all that. He was gonna come and get this. That's exactly what was gonna happen.
So you go outside and fight them damn birds, but you won't roll up a damn piece of cardboard to ship that thing.
He'll blow up a tree.
You're across the street from the damn post office, man.
You're absolutely
tell
right.
his business. Tell his business. You do that.
Wow.
I like Tots. I love Tots.
Around the corner.
Location
sorry.
turned on.
Yeah.
It's like a quarter mile from the post office.
See, I thought it was
Water.
to make me visit.
In November, you can walk there without breaking a sweat.
Yeah.
Even you.
I don't know. I'm a heavy sweater, bro. That's why they call me Big Wool.
I get it. But yeah, Kevin, they had prizes like why I gave away posters. So I got a couple cool posters. There was some money to the comic shop, and I got some things and gave it back as prizes. Different comics and things. They had special guests on, and like if they were artists or comic book people or whatever, they would always give away things. There's one guy from the Space and Rocket Center. He was giving away space camp type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So some of the stuff I kept, some of the stuff I just threw in other people's boxes because,
Nice.
I got no need for all that stuff.
Gotcha. I have a question, just because I keep seeing it specifically. There's a game in the 3rd down in your frame. I can't tell what it says. What is that? Go down. Go down. And now go over to your right there. What is that?
That's a Flick 'em Up, Dead of Winter.
Okay. Now explain that in English.
So this game's cool. It's you set it up on a big table and you're basically fighting against zombies. But the way you play is your little person. You flick it. It's a dexterity game. So you have a little token, and you take your token and you have to flick it to move across the battlefield. And then when you want to shoot a gun, you have a little card that looks like a gun. So if it's a shotgun, it's kind of wide and has small pieces, and you put all the pieces in there and you flick it out and the pieces scatter out. Or if it's a knife, you stand it up and flick it, and it hits the zombies and knock them over. So you got to make sure you don't bump into stuff and things like that. But so it's called Flick 'em Up because you flick your little pieces around. But it's basically a zombie survival game, and it's cooperative.
Does anyone they didn't know how intricate board games could get? Because I did not know how intricate it. I did not know that there were dexterity games. That sounds fun.
Oh
It
yeah, man.
does.
And cooperative games work well in my household for the reasons previously mentioned.
Yeah, guys, we're on the same team. All of us win when we've got Zach.
Yeah, see,
I'll win.
we all win or we all lose, right? So
So you're gonna yell at me about cost of the game? Like, what's happening here?
no.
Okay, cool.
All
He's gonna
win.
cuss in the car though. It's gonna
Because I
definitely.
will
the
put
way
all your
home.
pieces under the couch.
There's
Don't yell at me.
definitely
We'll see.
gonna be
No,
some
but that's
texting
the
at the
thing.
table.
I got a special game table. It's about that deep. It's got a vault with a felt table. So we set it up down in there, and you flick it, and then if you ever shoot, it just hits the wall of the vault and comes back in. The pieces don't get lost.
Mm.
Oh no, I was saying if you like yelled at me, I'm flipping all your shit over.
Oh, there's no reason for all that. There's no reason for all that.
Don't yell at me.
Well, no, I'm saying there's no
Yeah.
reason. There's no reason to yell. We're supposed to be having fun.
Okay, cool. Because I'm sensitive.
But,
Not all this shit over the home.
but Trivial Pursuit, that's a different. That's not a game.
Okay.
That's something different.
They're like, you want to play troops? Nope,
No.
I don't.
I'm
Nah.
gonna win. I'm gonna win Trivial Pursuit.
So,
So anyway,
I wonder how smart one could get by just reading all of the Trivial Pursuit cards.
see, that's a crazy question, right? Because what is intelligence? Is it memorization or is it learning something? What's the
I
difference
believe
between
it-
learning something?
Nation of withheld knowledge.
So in that case, I have read and retained a bunch of Trivial Pursuit questions. I don't know that it's helped me in life,
How? That is the key.
but it has won me a few beers at trivia
Mm-mm.
at a bar. Yeah.
All right, so you got to put that knowledge to work, Tots. I believe in you. It's won you some cool prizes from the quiz show.
Oh, and that's the cool thing. I actually met Owen playing trivia at a local bar
Exactly.
way back in the day.
See?
yeah,
So,
and Owen was the one that made all the questions for
mhm.
the quiz show.
Yeah.
Ah.
So that's why he had it out for me, and that's okay. It's all fun.
Bro.
So,
Respectfully, bro.
well, y'all, I think we got to have you back on more for this, Tots. It's been a really, really good episode, and I learned some shit today because I just was putting everything as board games.
Exactly.
And so Tots, you've educated me, and I appreciate that so very much.
Oh, well, I was like hanging out with y'all.
So yeah, and also on Sunday, we have the draw and drink where
Don't try to change up the name. That is not what you've been calling it.
the drink and draw.
Drink and draw.
And draws is what you
Draw.
said. And draws, and you just wait. I haven't found my underwear that I'm wearing yet. I have not found my.
You're drinking draws.
Haven't.
I wore my onesie last time.
This is your draws.
I was
All
I was
right.
holding them. They came in a multi-pack, but I'm just gonna put that down.
Well,
Amazon.
if I can get away with it, there may be a flaming shot. It's not gonna be on fire. It's not gonna be on fire. No.
Then it's not a flaming shot, is it?
Well, it would have been on
Is it?
fire, and then I'm blowing it out.
Oh,
Like,
off camera. I promise y'all, it was on fire.
I'll put it on fire. I'll put it on fire, but I'm blowing it out. I've seen enough videos where people have the fiery mustache.
No, you're supposed to blow it out before you drink. Why would you?
That's what I'm
No.
saying.
The
That's what I'm
first
saying.
one's fine. It's the 6th or 7th one. That's when you get in trouble.
I'm not-
Because you
I-
forget to blow it out.
So my girl had that same look. KB was like, "Oh my god," and I was just like, "Just go with it."
It'll be fine. It's gonna be
Look.
fine.
There's a reason why you see me at most do 3, and then I'm done on the camera.
Well, all I'm gonna do, I'm gonna have one, and I'm gonna blow it out, and I'm gonna make sure that there's no paper around here as well.
You're literally surrounded with paper.
Hey,
That's plastic.
hey, you know, well, it's actually a cotton blend, so it probably catch up. But never mind.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. We got this.
So
Yeah. So the thing, I was super excited to hang out while he was drawing my commission.
mhm.
And I saw KB there. I was like, this is gonna be great. And then something came up with the renovation, and we had to talk about it. And by the time that was done, the show was over, and I was like, God damn! So I missed most of the thing.
Mhm.
Of all the episodes, I missed.
We talked about Deadpool heavy.
I
And
know. I watched it like 3 times since.
we talked about so next week Jeremy is drawing Spawn, so hence the reason why I have a flaming shot, because he went to hell.
That's my girl's favorite superhero, yo.
So
Yeah.
we're gonna do that, and I'll take the I'll put the video on there because I got to show you how to make the shot.
And that was super cool how you did the little making of the drink segment there.
Yeah,
That's a
man.
nice
I enjoyed it. That was a cute little getaway.
Bingo bango. There we
There
go.
you go. You need to get
So-
you a little tiki hut for the show. You sit in a little tiki hut while you're doing your fart.
Man, I may do that. I may have something, but it was fun. The drink and draw.
You be considered a paladin of the poor.
Ooh, I like that.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Hold on. I'm writing that down right now.
Yeah.
Nice.
Paladin of the poor.
Really quick side note, unrelated, but big news. Comic-Con's tomorrow.
Yes.
Already?
Yep.
Oh, did you hear? Oh, because this is the reason why I tried to get us off. Well, so they said that Henry Cavill may be showing up saying that he's going to be Superman again. KB, I'm not talking to you right now, okay? Don't don't do that. All right.
Can I be honest with you?
All right, man. What's up?
That ship has sailed, my brother.
Well,
Not that I don't like it, but my excitement for that is just like,
I can understand. However, I think he was a really good Superman, but I think the whole DC, EU, is that what they call it? The DC EU was just
DC Extended Universe?
yeah. I think it was just mismanaged, and that's unfortunate. So,
I
The
feel
end result's the
like
same.
it's segregation for you to not allow me to be in this conversation.
all right, KB, what are your feelings on the matter?
I hate Superman.
Actually, I was gonna say if anyone has the look down, it's him.
Okay.
I had a positive. I'm still gonna say they're not getting my money, but it is what it is. Like, people enjoyed it from what I heard, and he did a great job. And yeah, he's old, but I mean, that's the magic of CGI and makeup.
I mean, if The Rock can play Black Adam and he's like 50 some odd years old.
Exactly. It'll be fine.
All right, though.
DC people are gonna get what they pay for.
The Rock.
Huh?
I mean, The Rock is holding it together, though, man. He still got the action hero going on.
I mean, he's got the physique, and he's probably gonna have it for forever.
Exactly, because he works out all day long, because that's all he does.
Like Chuck Norris, man, he's gonna be like still pumping iron when they lower him down in the ground.
Did you guys know that Chuck Norris is so fast he can turn the light off and be in the bed before it gets dark?
I heard that.
That's good. Appreciate that.
So to put it back on point, did you know that Henry Cavill is a big Warhammer fan?
I heard.
Yes, I don't
heard
know
he
what
built his own
Warhammer is,
computer.
but I knew that.
Yeah, he built his own computer at one point. And they said he was playing a game when he got offered the role of Superman and almost missed it
Because he was playing, yeah.
Nerd.
He's just a pretty nerd.
Yeah.
I'm just a sexy nerd.
So that was really cool. Well, DC's got to come with something because Ezra Miller has been, messing them up so much, so very much in every aspect. So they're just trying to get that movie out. They're like, listen, we can't throw it on just HBO Max because we need to get some money.
Hot take:
Mm-hmm.
Ezra Miller is doing them a favor because it's getting publicity, bad or good, on them, and it's worse than the movies they've been putting out. So people are talking about how bad he is and not how bad the movies are, but it's putting their name in people's mouth.
Not only that, but whether the movie is good or bad, people are still likely to go and see it because they want to see they're still attached to the name of everything that they have going on. So regardless of whether they continue to play the Flash or not, people are still talking about them.
And then as soon as they replace the Flash, people are going to jump on that to show support for the fact that they dumped Ezra Miller.
Exactly. Even though I feel as if you were going to make that move, you waited entirely too long to do so. So at this point, it's just placating, but whatever.
But it's still money.
It's true. So I also saw the Green Lantern movie, the new one, that animated one. Wasn't bad. It wasn't bad.
Of course not. It's animated.
Yeah, the animated stuff's good.
But
Right.
but it wasn't as good as the stuff where Bruce Timm was involved. So I really want Bruce Timm back because so after they did the Apocalypse War or War of Apocalypse, whatever it was, which I still think is better than Endgame. But I think that what was it? I think they should have had something where they went back in time or went back, because Flash goes back at the end. Spoiler: it's been out for a year or two, so you're all right. I think they should have been able to restart it, do something, you know what I mean, or at least have another Flashpoint movie.
You know what? As much as I don't want to admit, you're right. I do like the Apocalypse War more than I like Endgame because I have Apocalypse War on Blu-ray. So, you're right. You're absolutely right.
I didn't like how cleanly they ended Endgame.
Yeah.
I much prefer Infinity War.
Messy endings are tight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's like the Empire of the MCU. I love Empire Strikes Back. Starting with the battle on Hoth and ends with everybody in the crapper Han and the Carbonite,
Mhm.
Luke with his
Mhm.
busted up hand.
Or
Great
lack
movie.
thereof one.
Yeah.
Good point.
I don't get that reference.
It's all right.
It's a Star Trek thing. You wouldn't understand.
Oh God.
I know that that's incorrect. I at least know enough to know that. Give me some credit. No, love Infinity War. Love I can't keep the name straight, but I do like that DC movie. I do like it better than Endgame, which hurt me to say because I'm a Marvel house. But I do like DC's animated movies. I'm just not a DC comic fan.
The comics are better though, and a lot of times the comics are based off of the movies that you're watching are based off of the comics.
So I hear you, but the thing is, when I was actually into reading the comics prior to now and getting back into it after dealing with you guys, is that don't look like that. Is that
Damn, like did you have to frame it that way? like damn.
let me clean it up.
Thank you.
Prior to my friendship developing with you fine, upstanding gentlemen,
Oh,
I'm a criminal.
see, I try to give you a compliment and you got to take it too far. Back to what I said. I was a bigger fan of how Marvel handled their characters just because DC for a long time in my childhood was kind of like clean cut. As far as like, you had black, you had white, as far as grace, like there was no grayscale with their characters. Whereas Tony Stark, yeah, he's a jerk, but he's also a paraplegic, an alcoholic. Like Tony had issues. Bruce had issues that he decided didn't exist, and the writers said, that's cool, we're not going to deal with that yet. Now, as we have gotten older, they have gotten way better about it, and their movies just haven't reflected that yet. Their movies are kind of like their old comics, where it's like, we're going to give you this character is established, and you don't really need to know anything about them because you know who they are. That's been my biggest issue with DC's films is they throw these characters at you because they know it's nostalgic and people are going to watch it just because this character's here. But they did not build their world. They did not build those characters, and they didn't make you care about them in any way, shape, or form. So if you weren't a comic fan of that character, then you're not really getting anything from the movies. Like Batman is just Batman, and the only reason you know who Batman is because you read the comics. So they basically said, if you're new to Batman, we don't really care. Just here's this costume and here's Christian Bale talking in a funny voice. Boom. Whereas if you look at the MCU, they built those characters from their comic counterparts. They gave you backgrounds and they gave you pieces that you needed for those stories. So I think that's why their films are better. It's just they did more development in the beginning for these people. They're kind of running into it now where they're giving you the newer characters and they're not building them as well. They're just saying, hey, we had some success. We made a bunch of money. Here goes some more folks.
mm-hmm. What do you think, Tots?
I agree. I think that to a fault, in some instances, the MCU rehashes origin stories over and over and over and over and over. I think that to go meta with it, there was a podcast I listened to for a while. What's it called? Business Wars, where it talks about like Coke versus Pepsi, all like Apple versus Microsoft, blah, blah, blah. Well, there was one against DC versus Marvel, and it was talking about way back in the day where DC was real big, and then this new place, Marvel, showed up, and then they were going back and forth and back and forth. And the way they described it was Marvel went ahead and jumped into TV and movies, and DC was like, oh, we don't need that newfangled stuff, and they were behind. And I think that Marvel got their foot in, and they got a plan together, and they executed a plan, and DC's always played catch-up. And they've never really put the commitment in to actually stop trying to play catch up and do something new. They're just following. And when you get in that position, you're always just going to be a pale imitation of whatever it is you're following. I think they're falling into that. So I think in the recent decade or so, like before the last, they're up to 20 movies now. When Marvel took the big hit back in the, 90s, 2000s, they started getting cocky and like, oh, well, we don't have to do anything because DC's never going to catch us. Well, they did a little bit, and I think they kind of got a hold on that. Kevin, was it Feige?
Feige, yeah.
Feige, yeah. Got him in. He built a big universe and kind of executed it. And I think what we're going to start seeing in the next couple of years, and that's kind of what Kevin was saying with, like, oh, we got a lot of money, let's start throwing folks at it. I think we've gone beyond his plan.
Mhm.
And you're going to start seeing it fall off, kind of like Game of Thrones fell off once they passed the books, stuff like that. But if you see something executed to a plan, there's a lot of grandeur there and it's very cohesive. But once you get beyond that, it's going to start tailing off. So I think that DC is going to start getting the footing, bringing in stuff. The stories are going to start getting better just because they've had more examples and more time. And at the same time, the Marvel stuff is going to taper off. But before any of that happens, I also think that the market's just saturated and people are going to be tired of superhero stuff altogether. So we're rocking 20 years on it now, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be interesting to see if DC catches up and is able to overtake Marvel again before the market saturation gets to them. But I definitely think that MCU is on its way down, and the DC EU, it's up to them to see whether or not they're going to pull up or not. But we'll see.
Yeah. Well, I agree. Like, I think when DC first came and was like, okay, when they saw the success that Marvel was having, they're like, well, we don't need to put in that same kind of work. We're just going to go ahead and just rest on our laurels and be like, okay, cool. We're going to go ahead and give you Batman versus Superman. Because thinking about it, and like, I know fan casting is one of those things that everybody can do, but like, you should have had your characters develop at least with 2 independent movies before they started, running into anybody else. So I definitely, like, I think Brainiac would have been a really good person for them to have for maybe a first movie for Man of Steel, and then that could have kind of tied into your story from that point. Then maybe have General Zod. Like Doomsday should have been something way, 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 way down the line. After, maybe honestly, it should have been a Justice League movie where because Doomsday killed a lot of like heroes in the Doomsday thing. He killed I think he killed either Hawk or Dove, one of those, and then he killed like a bunch of other people on his way to fighting Superman. So I think it should have been something like that should have gone on beforehand. But you know what I mean? I don't know. I think it should have been something that kind of grew rather than just they just threw it together and just said that, hey, we're going to put some big names behind this, and we're going to just have these certain situations, and they weren't really organic. They just were like, we're just going to make this happen and then they just took for granted the customers, the fans. So that's where I think where we ran into the issue.
Yep.
But they also said that during Comic-Con that they don't expect a whole lot from Marvel because they're going to pretty much wait until D23 to release all their information like they've been doing for the last couple years. But they said try to expect some more groundbreaking stuff from DC. But that's it, man. I think it should be. I think they have run out of stuff because I don't know if Gal Gadot is going to come back. I don't know. You know what I mean? They burnt the bridge with Ray Fisher. And I just don't know what they're going to do with all the rest of these people. So, Ezra decided he wanted to just be Ezra. I don't know. I don't know what else to really say.
Yeah, they went off the deep end.
Mm-hmm.
I hear he and Amber Heard are going to make a movie together.
Oh,
Stop it right now.
That's funny.
Shitting on the pillows.
That's so gross. So it's the wrong time, and I know y'all are going to talk about this later, but I read about that new Kraven the Hunter movie coming out with the dude that played Venom.
Mm-hmm.
Is Kraven? Have you seen that? Have you heard anything about it?
It's supposed to be the one that played not Flash.
Quicksilver.
Yeah, Aaron Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
You went out.
Yeah. It's not Venom. It's the guy that played Piotr Maximoff.
Yeah.
The MCU version, not the Fox version.
Yeah.
Yeah. But apparently he's going to be an environmentalist. Kraven the environmentalist.
I need Sony to stop. Just stop, bro. Just stop, Sony. Just stop.
Sit down, you're drunk. Sit down, you're drunk.
That's, yeah.
Could have did so much with Morbius, bro. But you showed me what you was gonna do.
So that's a whole nother conversation. But yeah, that was disappointing to say the least, because Craven the Hunter doesn't need to be a vegan, right?
I mean, being a hunter doesn't mean that you. So, like, I could understand him having like a certain level of respect for the animals that he hunts, and then, you know, maybe having something where he's trying to keep the ecosystem, you know, in balance. That you could be able to do something like that. But he's not, you know. But he goes after apex predators. That's what I think.
We're talking about Fern Gully. They made him into Fern Gully.
I'm glad you said it.
Okay,
Glad
there we
you
go.
said it. I'm glad you said it.
Anyway,
We need something risky. We need him to fight Spider-Man. Can we just say it? Can we just say it?
will you see in the upcoming, was it X-Force 30? He runs into Deadpool. That comes out next month.
Hey,
There we go.
I'm looking forward to that. Obviously,
Of course. I can't wait to see what your final stuff does. So what are we talking about? We are talking about
damn near everything.
yeah,
Right.
we're talking about Craven the Hunter being he's an animal lover in this one. He's a protector
A
of animals,
vegan / environmentalist.
Environmentalists.
almost like Captain Planet, but worse.
By our powers combined, we are a terrible movie.
see what you did there, and I appreciate it.
So, but
Your face is boring. I-
there you go. See, that's
I thought he was talking about the concept of the movie being boring,
I don't care.
and there you have it, ladies and
there we
gentlemen.
go.
She's our supervillain.
So,
You got to have a villain to have a hero, right?
yeah, indeed. So, all right, y'all. Well, we are going to call it a night tonight. It has been wonderful speaking with you guys about board games, learning as much as we could as far as that's concerned. So, what I want you to do is be like the Hulk. I want you to smash that follow button, and we're going to be like Morgan Stark. And we're going to. Are you jumping at them?
I was threatening them to smash.
Oh, okay. All right. I was just wondering.
Didn't work.
Okay. Well, I want you to follow, be like the Hulk, smash the follow button, and then we're gonna love you 3000. But until then, we want you to be like the NWO. We want you to be like the Wolf Pack, and we want you to be just too sweet.